Hello and welcome to Flywheel. I'm Sam, producer here, and I have John from LENX, who is here today to talk about their big kind of rebranding and relaunch for the Frax community and what its impact is going to be. So, John, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, thank you. So maybe we can start out with by going into what exactly has been this new relaunch of LENX, how you guys transitioned from Renaissance style, and what you're actually trying to achieve with LENX.
Okay, so a little bit of background history for LENX. We started as a Renaissance style, as many of you guys know, and then we pivoted two times back and forth, trying to really gauge what the market needs and the right narrative should be going forward. So I think in crypto, marketing is very important as well as because we need to have enough TVL to generate revenue. So finding the right narrative, trying to A/B test what narrative was the right and what market share to take going forward was very important for us. What we're building right now is trying to capture the rep Bitcoin's market share, meaning rep Bitcoins right now, as of now, doesn't have any yields on them. So if you go on Aave or Compound, they only yield 0.1% for interest rates for lenders. And surprisingly, Fraxland has the best interest rates for red bitcoins. From just looking at this, we can see the great market inefficiencies, and we want to create a flywheel for Frax ecosystem plus users who are using red bitcoin to generate yield by using our ecosystems.
Okay, so maybe you could go into this new version of Bitcoin that you're releasing, this wrapper, and how you're using ZetaChain to make that a reality.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for asking. Right now, what we're really focused on, more so focused on, is creating a wrapper for red bitcoins. And what we can do in the future with ZetaChain is bringing in native bitcoins. So this is in right now ZetaChain doesn't support for native bitcoins to coming into ZetaChain to be transferred out of ZetaChain. So this is not possible. So we'll focus on this for V2. But from this perspective, what we can do is allow the users to deposit native Bitcoin, and we will wrap it as XBTC, meaning we'll have the underlying BTC, which is called ZBTC, and mint out XBTC, which is a wrapper for it. So what we can do is exactly same as Frax. Think of us as Frax for Bitcoins. We use the underlying native Bitcoin for automatic market operations to be lent out or be used on yield optimizers, and we use or give XBTC to the users or mint out or burn on automatic market operations.
Right. So can you go into that more? I mean, when we talk about Frax, there's usually three parts. There's like the stable coin, and then there's some interest bearing part. So will there be a yield part of XBTC?
This is the most fun part. We're really relying on Frax for is the new new VAM. So what we're going to do is have rep bitcoins wrapped again as uh, wxBTC. So this is different from the native Bitcoin wrapper. So this is just going to be for wrap bitcoins. So we wrap them, and we still have the wrap bitcoin underlying when we give the wxBTC back to the users, right? And the users can stake this to get FXS rewards or XD rewards, or we use the underlying rep Bitcoin to be lent out under BAM or paired with wxBTC or paired with Frax, so users can um, take out loans or borrow against it.
Okay, so there's XBTC, which is the stable coin, and then wxBTC, which would be the wrap version. And the wrap version captures yield from the lending activities.
That's
Is
correct.
that correct? Okay, great.
That's correct.
And you guys will be using the Frax BAM once it launches on Fraxchain later this month or in next month once Fraxchain is fully live.
I think this is going to generate a lot of yield for really good yield for the users. And this is not just pumping out token incentives, but actually being lent. The yields from being lent out to users will be significantly greater than Aave or Compound.
Right. So, what are you looking at in the relationship between like ZetaChain and Frax, and then also with you guys as well too? So, ZetaChain is essentially like the custodian of the native Bitcoin. It
Mm-hmm.
comes into ZetaChain, and then you're able to mint out the XBTC from that, and then the XBTC is going to flow to other L2s or even back to ETH, where it can be set up inside of BAM or Fraxchain.
I'm sorry. We were cut off for 30 seconds here. Can you repeat your question for me?
Yeah, sure. Let me just do a countdown or a pause.
Okay.
Okay, so if I get this straight, the native Bitcoin is going to come into ZetaChain. ZetaChain doesn't have the ability to create a wrapper for it, and that's where LENX provides that service of
Exactly.
wrapping the Bitcoin and then issuing that out. Will that be issued out on ZetaChain, or is that going to be issued on Fraxchain?
So this when we have the bridging capabilities between Fraxchain and Ethereum, this is definitely possible. So we can bridge native Bitcoins to ZetaChain, and then ZetaChain to ETH, and then Ethereum to Fraxchain. So Fraxchain will be effectively be able to utilize the native Bitcoins.
That's interesting. And the ability to then put that into a BAM pair with BTC or wrap BTC, and then the wrapped XBTC will then allow that XBTC to be then borrowed out, and for users who then deposit into that liquidity pool to earn a yield both from the swap fees and then also from the lending activities as well too.
Exactly, and this creates a really interesting flywheel where red bitcoins are very centralized, meaning only whitelisted institutions can take out their red bitcoins back to their native bitcoin as their native bitcoins. But what we can do is for users, for normal users who doesn't have these capabilities of redeeming back native bitcoins, can use our use LENX and FraxBAM to take out their red bitcoins as native bitcoins.
Right. And so the opportunity here is then to come in and then mint the XBTC, provide it liquidity, and then use BAM to then provide lending facilities. What else do you guys have in the future plan for LENX?
So this is a bit of spoiler. So we have something in design very similar to function protocol, and I'm more hesitant to reveal more, but this will be the core primitive where we, as a protocol, generate the most revenue from.
Oh, that's interesting. So what does function protocol do?
Function protocol issues two tokens, which one token is fractionalized ETH and one is XETH, which is leveraged ETH. So they have fractionalized
FFX.
F of
Yeah.
I.
Yeah. F of X. Okay. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. Oh, okay. So interesting. So you could take the XBTC and then put it into an F of X style, like stable coin slash leverage two token system,
Mm-hmm.
and then mint out like essentially like debt from that in the form of stable coins, as well as providing the yield that comes from the XBTC back to the people who are providing the stable coins into the stability pool. That's really interesting.
That's exactly right.
It's very cool. Well, we're all excited to see how that goes. Congratulations on the LBA that just went. And I hope that the next few weeks and months are going to be great for growth for the LENX community.
Oh, we hope to contribute for the Frax ecosystem.
And I have one last question as well too. Can you talk about your veFXS strategy and how you're going to be acquiring more Frax shares?
Right. So there are two ways to go about this, where we effectively bribe FX the gauges with our XD token, or we can effectively just buy back the Frax shares from our protocol earnings to keep accruing Frax to continue the gauges on the BAMs. So these are the two options we're looking at, and we would have to decide by this month on which would be the best way to go. But this is tentative for now.
Well, that sounds great. We're always looking for more people to come in and become a bigger part of the Frax community. And always great to see a project that was funded by the Fraxtal continue to innovate and succeed and grow.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks so much for coming on, John. I know the Flywheel community is going to be really excited by the launch of LENX, and you can read more about LENX in our article that we just posted on January 11th on flywheeldefi.com. And come to our Telegram as well as LENX's Telegram, or do you guys use Discord?
We use Discord.
Okay, yeah. Come to their Telegram, ask any questions for John and his team, and we will continue to provide more education and information about all the products that are building and integrating with Frax. Thank you so much, John, and we will see you later on Flywheel.
Thank you so much, Sam.